What's good? What's going on?
All right, so I brought Max in on Friday and I explained to him the situation with the Border Act, and he said I'll probably need the weekend to start seeing what we need for the Border Act. So I don't know if you've done or thought about anything that we talked a long time about it, um, and thought about what we needed for it. So I don't know if you've had any thoughts about it, Max.
I have been thinking on it. I worked on a spreadsheet over the weekend so that we can document all the taxing that happens. Essentially, all you got to do is put in what's being imported, the name, and then it automatically calculates the tax for you. Just because, it saves people from doing maths.
Yeah.
So I need to get that sent over to you, Eve.
Perfect.
I think I'll be good. Yeah, it's some good shit.
So, where do we do this taxation?
That's
Where
the
do
problem.
we do the tolls?
That's what we have
Yeah,
to figure
that's-
out.
Listen, I gotta take this real quick because
Yeah.
Brian, I don't know what the fuck he wants, but hello.
What's going on, Lang?
Max,
Good on, Brian. How you doing?
talking about trade routes.
Oh, not too bad.
Again, it's so-
There's a bunch of cars parked outside of the Aegis building. I don't know if you know anything about that. I looked up their profiles and they're not in Aegis, so.
Yeah, I think Eve's having a meeting in there real quick.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Thought someone was like breaking in or something.
No, you're all good.
See. All right.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye bye.
like the island is being used outside of Fridays.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there are two options. Option number one, we stop all export of boats to the island and we wait for their boats to go bad. And when they need new boats, we install GPS trackers that can be used to track the boats going from the island so we know where they are at all times. So the officers can intercept the boats and check through them.
That is fucking genius, Leslie.
Option number two, we build a giant sand wall around the island with one exit and one entrance, where we set up a toll booth where they tax all the vehicles going in and out. The only vehicles that would be exempt is helicopters, but we can't build a sky barrier, or can we?
We probably can.
Ooh,
Bit
a
of glass.
dome.
A
Probably
dome.
fiberglass,
Oh.
yeah.
Dome would be cool.
And then we could do a landing pad at the exit and entrance, so it's a giant dome, one hole in, one hole out. They have to land the helicopter, take boat from there.
Yeah.
I believe those are the two options I can think of right now.
Hmm.
The
There's
GPS
also-
option is easier, but it would require us to wait for their boats to go bad.
How long does it take for boats to go bad?
I have no idea.
I
What if-
believe they
but
rent
how-
them.
Yeah, how about if people already own boats?
It would have to go bad.
Yeah, they would have to go bad. All of them would just have to rust away. We just stop selling boats and manufacturing boats.
Hmm.
So they all have gone bad.
Yep. It's a long con,
You-
but it could work.
So when you say
Hmm.
a boat tracker, would it be like a sonar?
No, just a GPS on the boat. So all the boats that are sold, I guess, the issue is we would have to put them on every single boat sold ever, which we don't really need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
I
if
think,
it like crosses the border, the GPS starts activating.
right, and then it's on until it gets dark or something.
The best outcome would have been what I originally tried to do, and was go to Yeagers Island and try to at least discuss some sort of deal with the exporting and the importing, but it was impossible. Went very badly. I don't really know how we realistically track who's going in and out of that island when it's not up to anybody's discretion but Yeagers, who goes in and out of that island.
Yeah. Every other day it's outside of Fridays as
Ooh.
well, as we've learned.
Yeah.
What about this? What about this? What if we build a toll booth around the person that sells the tickets to the airplanes? We hold the person hostage and we dictate who goes in and out
Oh, Max
until he
actually had
decides
a
to
good
agree on
idea.
a deal.
Yeah, my idea was
Max?
that installing a metal detector down there, similar to the courthouse, so that when someone goes to the island, they can only bring their phone and maybe some food with them on the flight. The rest of it remains.
Yeah, but the problem is, I'm not sure when or how, but Yeager is in the business of making passports, so he can give anybody a passport that can just go in and out as they please. They don't have to actually have to go to the airport.
Well, I'm out of ideas. We're fucked.
Yeah,
Hmm.
me too.
Yeah, the only way that I can conceive this actually working and us controlling it is if it is only open on Fridays, and anything else has to go through trade. Like, if they need supplies over there, they can't just come over and get it. They'd have to get a boat sent over there outside of Friday. That's
Uh,
the only way I could see it working.
Well, Bass had an interesting idea, which was if they're only going to open their borders on Friday, then we only open our borders on Friday. And anybody who lives on the island is caught in Los Santos gets arrested. But then the question comes in, how do you determine that? Is Yeager a citizen of Sanguine Isle or is Yeager a citizen of Los Santos?
Yeah, that's something we talked about as well. We
Well-
were discussing if are they dual citizens, because when the Russians were here, they were on MRPD's doorstep, and they were given dual citizenship.
But
But
Yeah.
how could
Sanguine
you
Isle is a sovereign state.
how could you recognize a state without a government?
They have a government.
They have
The
Delver.
judge. They have a
They have
judge, Judge
Delver and
Ingledan.
Judge Ingledan, however the fuck that is.
I'm just confused how and when all this happened. Like, how is yeah, that just doesn't really add up to me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of it doesn't add up, right? But the fact of the matter is that it happened, and
Now we are scrambling.
I think the sand wall idea is the best idea.
the Sandwall idea is the best idea, honestly. It really is.
I like the dome.
Dome could be cool. We
But,
would need to define borders at that point.
Realistically, what Bass should do, or who does it actually? Who can declare that our borders are closed? Who can do that?
The senators?
Probably the senators, yeah.
I would say the mayor, but I don't want that.
Yeah, no, we don't. We do not work with Hardcastle. The guy's a dumb fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I think Bass should declare that our borders are closed except for Fridays. Fine, when Yeager comes to the island, arrest him. Then Yeager takes it to a trial because obviously it's bullshit. And there's so much frustration and bullshit made out of this that maybe laws come out of it. It's probably the best.
Precedent.
It's probably the best way to do it, honestly.
And there is
Not
a
a-
clear
not a
list
bad
of who
idea.
lives there, right? That we found out, didn't we, Eve?
Say again?
We found out who lives there, right? Like a list of them?
Yeah, I think
yeah,
the
we-
best person though
yeah.
to arrest would actually be Yeager, because you could argue he's a citizen of Los Santos, so that question would be brought up. And the determination of the court doesn't matter if he's guilty or innocent. It's hoping that the DOJ goes, "Oh shit, we have to create some case laws now and some legislation out of this shit, because this is a mess." That's probably the best way to do this.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk to Bass when he comes around. Actually, we'll figure this out.
Okay. All right. My second point, as well as Aegis. I remember now. I wanted to bring it up, but then I remember Brian did want to talk to me about storefronts late last night. But the last time I talked to him, we're close to. All the agents have done their second inspections, which means we're close to giving strikes to businesses. But I called Brian again about this one storefront that has a literal human fingernail selling it, and I'm like, Brian, can you put a detective on the storefront, because you will probably have means to raid it? And he can't give me an officer to investigate this storefront, and I'm like, I can't do anything else if you don't give me a person to work
What did he
within
say?
the
Why he
PD.
couldn't?
He said he is so busy that he needs this next month to come up with something. But he did want to talk to me last night about storefront, so I don't know if he has. I don't know if he was
Eve,
just too
Eve.
busy that day.
I got it. New arc for Eve. Become a cop, and only be a cop for when you're working on Aegis shit.
You're saying that, but when I walked into the building, I was thinking about that, because I'm just
I'm not
blocked by
joking, I'm being
not being
serious.
able.
That would be crazy if you theoretically think about it. You become a cop, But the only reason you're a cop is to help push Aegis shit. Like that's the best way for it to happen, I think. If you don't want to rely on other people, no?
Okay.
Not
and
wrong.
then
The
no-
only issue
okay.
is you will have to deal with the hierarchy of the PD, and people might not respect you or listen to you because you're a new hire, etc. That would be the only con.
No. But she doesn't be a cop that works the streets. She just works for Aegis. That way, if they have to go inspect the storefront, she could do it. And then she could say, I'm doing it on behalf of Aegis.
I get that. I agree. I think a lot of people would say that you're a cadet. I'm not going to listen to you, though. But it doesn't hurt to try. It's a good idea.
Okay, then listen to my next plan to
Okay.
investigate state grants. I found it, DIC.
Oh God, no way. No. We should not touch that with a 10-foot pole, Eve.
Okay, but listen, we don't do the taxes part of it. The rest of the legislation is there. The whole legislation is written out so well that we don't have to do the taxes part of it, but it will allow us to go into the businesses and investigate state grants.
Really? I gotta take a look at the legislation.
It's really good. It defines roles, like it defines all the roles that we need to do it. And we just need bylaws for it that Tim can write when he gets back.
Okay. I mean, fuck it. If you think it's a good idea, fucking do it, Eve. You know what I mean? You run the show, so. I'll go take
And
a
it
look at
gives
the
us-
legislation as well, just to make sure
yeah,
it's good, you know?
It gives us enough to go into businesses outside of tax season to see that they are still operating as they should, that they are active businesses, and that would give us enough to look into state grants and how they're being spent.
Okay. I mean, I like it. I mean, a lot of state grants have definitely been abused, so it'd be interesting to see who gets fucked in all this, honestly.
Oh, this is the best part. Shrugway, Joseph Arrowhead from Shrugway put in a state grant again for his business, and then on Friday he bid a collective of over 3 million for a ride along with Bass and to be on the next season of Survivor, and he just put in a state grant for his business.
Jesus, that's a classic right there. My God.
And the same
Yeah.
situation as well, where potentially they used it to buy gang turf.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Hey, listen. All those people would get fucked. It would be hilarious to watch. I can't even lie.
Mhm.
'Cause the money, that sort of money is just so easy to track. Because if it doesn't go to their business, it's fraud. You know what I mean? So.
Unfortunately, the money laundering and the fraud charges are so little. I wish that I don't even know if the James Arsenal case happened, but it would have been a good precedent. I don't even know
Yeah,
what
but the
happened
thing is,
to
they'll be
that.
able to freeze and seize assets that they purchased with this money, so they just get fucked that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go look at the legislation, and Eve, I would seriously consider becoming a cop.
I have one more question regarding the medical stuff we discussed earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know for sure that it's not Kitty that leaked this information?
I am not too sure. You'd
I mean,
have to have a
this
conversation
must
with
have
her.
leaked. This must have leaked. That's the only thing that
Nah.
makes sense.
It would be that because the things that were sent in after, correct or wrong?
So she had told us that she had a few people on her staff for the plans for Kitty Dream Medical or whatever Dream Medical, that they had their medical licenses, and we had talked about it the day prior at the meeting. And Denzel, you had asked somebody in the DOJ.
I forget who.
Yeah, about if they'll be able to practice if they weren't at the hospital, correct?
Yeah. And the judge told me there's nothing illegal about it, how it's currently written.
I think we should buy the old hospital that got bombed, refurbish it, put it back up into duty, and run our own hospital. The way it should be done.
I love when something lights a fire under Leslie's ass.
Hospital and also purchased the hospital.
I agree, Leslie. We should do that 100%.
Yeah, we could have Denzel in charge of the doctors and Kitty in charge of the hospital.
I think Kitty should run the whole thing, respectfully. Denzel,
Also,
I love you,
that's
but
why
Kitty's
I
been
was-
doing this for years.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
I
I was
agree.
looking. That's why I was looking for the medical legislation, because I was going to see if Aegis could, do something about the legislation, and I cannot find the legislation. I went through every single legislation one by one, and that's why I stumbled upon the DIC one.
That's too many.
And
That's too many.
so there's two DIC ones. There's the Nino Chavez collection, but it was redone into the updated DIC one. But I could not find the medical one. There isn't a single one for medical legislation in the city anymore. I think a few have been removed or they're just missing.
What
Kitty
does
is
that
around,
mean?
by the way.
What does that mean for us, Eve?
That means that Aegis only functions if there's civil law or legislation that we can work off of.
Mhm.
So if there isn't any, then we can't really do much. Then we need legislation for it. And if there's missing legislation, that gives us, some leeway, because that means we can write it up.
All right. Regarding Kitty, I think she could run it. I have one concern, and that is that it becomes a. I think here's the thing.
I think it should be. Sorry, go ahead.
If we are building a hospital and we're buying a property, we're refurbishing it, and we're running a hospital, and I say we because we will be involved even if we don't do it ourselves.
Yeah.
I think it's important that that hospital is ran as a hospital would be, similar to a business. And I fear that Kitty is unable to do so. I fear that Kitty might start hiring only friends, and it becomes like a red line thing or whatever the hell. That is my only fear. And that's why I think we should have somebody else to balance out the way that she interacts with these entities, because I fear that Kitty does not see this as a serious enough thing.
I think they just do the same thing. Just have a board of people with experience. You know what I mean? They just run everything like as a board.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah. I think that's the best way to do it. Is you have a board, and if it's something we're running, we make sure that it's obviously people we trust on the board. Like Leslie, you're completely clean, right?
No.
You're not clean?
The thing is, I don't even want to get that deeply involved. I just think we need another hospital, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This whole thing with
100%.
one guy controlling licenses and all this shit, that just sounds like a fucking shit show.
All right, so let's put a pep in our step and make sure it happens. The first step would be buying the property. How do we do that?
So Kitty says she already owns the hospital next to Better Life, up in Vinewood. She says she already owns that property.
No. We need to buy the hospital by Little Seoul because refurb will take less time and will be less expensive.
Viceroy?
Yes. Yeah. I agree.
That's the one we need to acquire.
Yeah.
So then the question becomes, how do we acquire the property? It's owned by the government at this time?
So you would probably
most
have to talk to
likely.
the mayor, Leslie.
Right.
There's no way Hardcastle sells it.
Yeah.
to
Why
us.
wouldn't he?
He might to you, honestly. If you can fucking snake the silver tongue the fuck out of that motherfucker.
What if it's under the guise of a rehab center?
No, I think we should all be open with our cards as to what it's going to be. I think if we can showcase why 2 hospitals is better than 1 in an objective way, then he would be an idiot not to agree.
That's true, yeah.
The issue is that if Bunny hears about this, it's over.
Why is that?
Also true, because Bunny runs the
Bunny is
hospital.
on the board. She's on the board of LSMG.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what? Their next mayoral campaign is ruined because we can prove that they didn't allow competition for their own businesses while they were sitting in the seat of mayor?
Oh my god, we can impeach him for that, can't we?
We could.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
He would be actively refraining from monopolization for his own gain.
Yes.
I mean,
would
they
fucking
just-
love
they
to
did
impeach that
just-
motherfucker.
Accept a pharmaceutical company run by a terrorist.
That's true. We should do this.
For now, if you can collect all the information on that pharmaceutical company, what it was that was given to the mayor, and what was accepted ultimately, so I can have that data, and then I'll prepare to talk with the mayor.
Okay.
All right. Good meeting. We gotta go talk to Kitty and we gotta go talk to Marla, alrighty?
Okay.
You give us a call if you need anything.
All right. All
Good
right.
shit, by the way, Max. Good shit.